So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And yesterday, there was. I didn't really pay too much attention to the news that was happening yesterday because I spent the whole of yesterday in Hartlepool. I was doing some work regarding talks about neurodiversity inclusion within television, and I must say this absolutely about Hartlepool before we go on is that at first I thought the town was virtually abandoned when I got off the train, but actually taking a walk around and actually the people I met, it was actually, but by the time you get to actually meet some people, it's actually a very, very welcoming and very hospitable place. So I don't want to hear anybody again ever like slag off Hartlepool before they actually go there, because actually it's a very, very nice place from my experience anyway. But again, whether your experience is going to be different, just take this with a grain of salt. It also helps my cause, actually, that the studios I need to get to were literally 5 minutes away from the train station. So literally, I got off the train, walked like about for 2 minutes up Whitby Street, turned left, and the studios basically took up an entire street, roughly about like as much as 700 yards were dedicated to the studios. So that was really good, in my opinion. But when I did come back and I did see some level of news that came out about Michael Gove is now going to pinpoint certain groups that they're going to label as extremists, and there's going to be a level of readjustment as to what is going to be identified as extreme, which, call it what you may, ladies and gentlemen, it is a little concerning that now all of a sudden we're now going to be told about it. We are now going to be told what counts as extreme, who are going to be classified as extremists. And, well, it's hard to say, ladies and gentlemen, because guess what? There are extremes on all sides. And whether you want to make the case that the government has made up its mind about which side they're really on more than anyone else, we'll wait and see what that comes out. And then I heard news that in Belgium, there were swords or large groups of Jewish people who were ready to pack up and fly all the way back to Israel because they don't feel safe in Belgium, which is also pretty concerning because it's a level of system that's going to be common going across basically the rest of Europe, if not the rest of the world, is that there's a level of anti-Semitism that is going to basically become commonplace because whether people have decided what counts as right and wrong definitively in this conflict between Israel and Hamas, we'll simply wait and see. Because you have to bear this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, is that there are people both from Palestine and from Israel, Jewish people and Muslims, who have absolutely don't and no way, what shape or form whatsoever, want to have anything to do with this conflict. They simply just want to live in peace and to get on with it. They don't want to have anything to do with this war, this conflict, and they probably don't even have anything ill will against other people, no matter what their orientation or religion is. And yet we treat them all the same. And it's disgusting, ladies and gentlemen. I wish there was any other way I could put it, but no, it's absolutely disgusting. In particular, I remember I was coming from the bus late at night home last night, and I went along. For those who know what Percy Street is that you've got the Haymarket on one side and you've got Newcastle University on the other. And on the bus stop, on one of those on those billboards at the bus stop, is that somebody had scrawled in quite huge letters, "hang," but then somebody else decided to rub out the word below. And they only did it sort of like haphazardly because you could still make out what it was trying to say, and it was "hang Jews." And well, what exactly that solves, I have no idea. Apart from the fact that maybe, well, there is only one other suggestion I possibly have as to all this, is that either this is just some extremely disturbed anti-Semitic who thought that the only way is to just just to say stuff like that, just to get a reaction out of people. Or there is another suggestion, because who here remembers a group called Column 88? And, well, listen, if there's anybody watching here who's under the age of 40 to 50, you might possibly want to ask your parents or somebody who grew up roughly in the 1970s. And, well, to cut a long story short, Column 88 specifically would target areas in the, well, not just, I think they were more situated in the northeast, but they would target places like Gosforth and Jesmond, both very affluent areas in the northeast, and that occasionally do have quite a large Jewish community amongst them. Gateshead, however, is probably the largest community for Jewish people, at least in the northeast at any rate. But, well, even if Column 88 haven't been a thing in the northeast for the last 50 years, you would hate to imagine that whether or not this is just simply a case of the far right becoming far more organized, or even people who are more communistic or even left-wing in their approach would say stuff like this. Because, well, you don't really need to have any particular political agenda to say you hate such and such a person because they are this, that, and the other. That's, interestingly, a great irony when it comes to hatred, ladies and gentlemen, is that some people are very, very equal when it comes to prejudice, aka they don't care whether you're this, that, and the other. They will hate all sorts of people with the same degree of malice as the others. As long as they will hate people as long as they are not a white Protestant. That is, in many ways, the logic they follow. But again, it doesn't even have to be Protestantism. It could be from the COE to Roman Catholics. You know what, again, hatred is not something that is indignant or defined by one group of people or one religion or one gender or anything like that. Hatred is hatred. And there's, again, you would have to wonder what would happen if all of a sudden people decided that there was no distinction between the two, and that people who are only associated as one thing were more encompassing of hatred and decided to do what they will. And that's the only thing also worth mentioning, ladies and gentlemen, is that the one other little thing to note when I was in Hartlepool is that there was at least 2 doors that I saw when I was like walking up and down Whitby Street that had Reform Party UK stickers on them. And, well, call it what you may, ladies and gentlemen, but whether their influence is making its presence felt in the north, well, there's your answer. Now, whether you want to say whether or not people just did it as a prank or anything like that, I honestly can't say. And, well, I just kind of wanted to end this video, ladies and gentlemen, because honestly, listen, I've been ever since Monday when I've been going back to the gym quite early in the morning, and I've been like smashing it, if you don't mind me saying, is that, well, the fallout of this is that I'm like tired. Mentally, mentally I'm not really tired, but I have been extremely busy for these last number of weeks, basically ever since this year began, but also physically I'm beginning to feel the strains of like working 19 hours a day. Well, whether it's at my day job or whether it's just doing stuff online and stuff like that, I'm like beginning to feel the pressure a little bit about just how much I'm having to do for this, yada, yada, yada. And, well, what is it exactly that's stopping people from just getting along with each other and just deciding to work together? What exactly ever happened to that idea? Is it because people don't want it? Emmanuel Macron even went on the news earlier today saying that Europe must prepare for war if it wants peace in Ukraine, which talk of war happening not thousands of miles away, but within our own continent is possibly, it might not even be as far as our own continent, it could be even closer to home than that. But, well, with all this talk of extremism and extremist activities and all the rest of it, well, I've got some level of, here's a relatively moderate approach or democratic approach that I've conjured up, and some people may even look at this as being extreme, but, well, here it is. We should be learning how to work together, not fight each other. That's it. That's the level of extremism that I'm willing to go, by simply reiterating the same points that I've made before and again, because I still can't quite work out what exactly is wrong with it at this point in time. We should be learning how to work together, not fight each other. It's as simple as that. And sometimes the most simplest approaches are the most sound of them all. Well, what do you guys think? And I'll see all of you guys again next time. Take care, and bye-bye for now.